So the CFTC the other day issued a primer on cryptocurrency, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. What was disappointing was that from a technological aspect and sort of from a general knowledge aspect, it was pretty lame. I mean, it didn't really go into significant detail that would really give you, as a practitioner, any sort of concept of how the regulation may fall. What was more curious is that it didn't go far enough as to say that Bitcoin, which they previously said was a commodity with really no basis, was some kind of digital currency. So the question becomes, how does Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency for that matter truly fit within the definition of the Commodities Act? And it's very difficult to find that reason. One, it's not a currency, right? Forex and other activities related to swaps or options on currency are commodities, and they're regulated by the CFTC, but the CFTC hasn't gone far enough to say that Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency is in fact a currency. They refer to it as digital currency, but they don't treat it as a real currency, which is confusing in and of itself. Second, when you look at the other aspects of how it could be deemed to be a commodity, none of it fits. Most importantly, you're talking about the definition of a futures contract, which is typically related to some commodity, agricultural commodity, or oil, gas, you name it. Well, the Commodity Act carves out an exception for a futures contract where delivery is done in less than 28 days. So while the CFTC in their primer repeatedly refers to Bitcoin as being convertible, which it's technically not, it's saleable for money. It's not necessarily convertible. There's no right of redemption. Well, that right of redemption, which doesn't even exist, can happen almost instantaneous. I can go onto my exchange and convert it to cash in near simultaneously amounts of time. So it really doesn't fit any sort of the technical definitions of a commodity as it's defined in the Commodities Act. So it was a bit curious. The important part that I did take away from it is that it did enumerate certain aspects of trading, mostly like wash trading, market manipulation, and how those could be civil violations of the Commodities Act, which is good because when you have markets like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which compared to equity and commodities markets are actually fairly illiquid, the opportunity for manipulation, especially with lesser altcoins, is very, very real. So at least the CFTC came out and said, hey, if you're going to go wash trades, if you're going to manipulate prices, you could run afoul of the Commodities Act. How they take something that's decidedly not a commodity and then try to enact the Commodities Act rules against market manipulation, I don't know, but conceptually it makes sense. So, there was some spike and then a drop in the price of Bitcoin yesterday or the other day when the primer came out. It's since bounced back. I don't think it really means anything. I think it was just sort of this informational sort of exercise that they did for no real reason. So that's my take on it. Email me at tracyfirm.com. Be happy to answer any of your questions. Peace.